I got an email from someone today that said, do I have to go to the meeting on April 17th if I come to this tonight? Yes. Yes, you have to go on April 17th if you are a club president or a club vice president of education or a district officer of any sort. Yes, 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 you have a vote and your vote counts. It's an especially important election this year. They're all important, but it's important because we have our baby district, our brand new district coming together. Very exciting. And we have 2 timers today. Stephanie, can you highlight your, yes, exactly. Thank you. So Stephanie is there. Stephanie will be doing the timing for us, and the backup timer, and I don't see him. There we go. Richard Teal is the backup timer. If anything happens to Stephanie's ability to time, Richard is ready to jump right in with the timing. And the timing is going to work, the evening is going to work like this. Our 2 guests, as I said, will be asking the questions. The candidates have the opportunity to give an opening statement or a closing statement. They have 6 minutes altogether. They're going to see, and I'm going to be saying this a whole bunch of times every time somebody comes in, but they're going to have the green light. You know what? I'm going to ask you to say it, Stephanie.
Sure thing. So they will see green at 4 minutes, yellow at 5 minutes, red at 5:55, and I will be hitting the mute button at 6 o'clock even, or 6 o'clock, 6 minutes even.
Thank you. Awesome. And on that note, let's get started.
So shall I go get Sharon?
Yes, I wonder, will you be able to spotlight Sharon and Stefano?
I can try.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Yep.
Just be careful if you spotlight the 2 of us, they might not be able to see the timer.
Oh, but that's a good point. But if she has and she does have her hand up, she should stay in the upper left-hand corner. But
Sure.
We'll ask them if they can see the timer. That's a very good idea.
Covering all the bases. Wicked smart. Wicked smart.
Yeah, and I can always just turn off my video, like close my camera, and you can spotlight me as well. You can spotlight 3 people if that seems to work better.
All right, we'll see what happens when Norm gets back. Thank you, everyone, for being here again. Welcome back, Sharon. We're going to attempt to spotlight you. It is International President Stefano McGee that will be asking you questions.
Okay.
And in the upper left-hand corner, you see Stephanie. Stephanie, tell us about the timing again.
Yes, so I will start the timer as soon as you start talking, and you will see the green at 4 minutes, the yellow at 5 minutes, and the red at 5 minutes and 55 seconds. At 6 minutes, I will be hitting the mute button. So when you see the red, finish your sentence quickly.
Wonderful. Can we spotlight Norm? Or I should say, Norm, can we spotlight? Not can we spotlight Norm? All right. Are we able to put Stefano, also spotlight Stefano? He should come up side by side. I don't know. Yay! All right. I will turn it over to you, Stefano.
Great. So we'll just get on with it, Sharon. Do you have an opening statement, or would you like to go straight to the questions?
I have an opening statement.
Continue.
Fellow Toastmasters, 22 years ago, I began a journey that changed my life. It started because my manager suggested I join this thing called Toastmasters. But I stayed in Toastmasters because of the many mentors who helped me, and especially the first mentor who waited 8 months for me to get the courage to be able to give my icebreaker speech. I know you're thinking, oh, 8 months? Well, I'm going to tell you, back then I was so afraid of having to speak in front of people. 8 months, I'm surprised it didn't take me longer. However, thanks to Toastmasters, I was able to find my voice, build self-confidence, and eventually I was able to take on leadership roles, both at work and in Toastmasters. Now it's time to give back. As we head into this historic merger, experienced leadership is an advantage because with all the things that could potentially go wrong, such as issues and challenges with the realignment, having experience will help. My experience includes serving as a district director, and our district achieved select distinguished. I also have 30 years in pharmaceutical quality assurance, and I am the recipient of a prestigious Craig Saxton Award from Pfizer. This experience will help me to guide the team so that we have a clear path forward. Now, when you think about it, leadership, it's not just about awards and numbers. Leadership is more than that. It's about the people. Toastmasters changed my life, and that's why now I am running for this office, not for the title, but because I want to give back to you. My mission is simple. I want to ensure that no member is ever invisible, and every member has the opportunity to grow, to lead, and to find their voice, just like I did. So let's roll up our sleeves and choose to step boldly into this next chapter. Because as one unified district, we are stronger together. Thank you. Mr. President-elect.
So the district mission is to build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. As district director, you're accountable for both sides of that mandate. How do you personally define success for the district at the end of your term, and what does achieving it require from you specifically?
Can you read that one more time?
The district mission is to build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. As the district director, you're accountable for both sides of that mandate. How do you personally define success for your district at the end of your term, and what does achieving it require from you specifically?
As a district director, it's important that we not only focus on new clubs, but that we do focus on thriving clubs that may be struggling and need help. For this year especially, it's important that we have proactive oversight so that we are managing everything that's going on and being aware when something is starting to be an issue so that we can address it before it does become an issue. For new leads, it's important to help people to understand that Toastmasters is not work. It's a means to be able to grow and be the best that we can be. And by giving leads and helping us to grow clubs, we're able to help both a club get an opportunity to learn Toastmasters and see the benefits, as well as members to see how they can grow in their leadership. How do we measure that? At the end of the year is looking at our dashboard and seeing how we've done, as well as seeing how people are involved in Toastmasters from a standpoint of, oh, this is extra work versus, wow, look at all that I've learned this year. I know for myself, I grew so much from being in Toastmasters. If we can do that for our members, it's a win for the district.
Several clubs in the district are suspended, inactive, or operating with memberships that are too small to sustain a quality experience. How do you decide which clubs are worth investing district resources in? And what does investment look like to you?
Well, as the club coach, I think that's a great question, because one of the things we have to do is look at how do we determine where we use our resources. And one of the things we need to look at is how invested isn't the club in being sure that they want to grow and prosper. So working with the club to find out what they want and what they will give to make their club better is one of the criteria that we need to determine how much resource we give to that club. And I forgot the other part of the question.
What does
I'm very nervous.
What does investment look like?
An investment would be that we have a club coach, that we work as soon as we can to make that club see the value of Toast.
Thank you.
Thank you,
So good.
Sharon. So, thank you. We're going to be bringing the next person in just 1 second, but I'd also like to recognize past International President Richard Peck, who has joined us. And of course,
evening.
good evening. Thank you for being here. And I
I
neglected to-
apologize. I apologize for not turning my camera on. For some of you know, we have a new puppy, so I've been running in and out with the dog. So it probably wouldn't be good to have the camera on right now.
Okay, no problem. I also wanted to recognize Betty Ann Peck as immediate past district director for District 53. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Avis.
No problem. And I don't see Norm, but our PQD candidate that we're going to hear from next is Liz Keeling. And to interview Liz, we have International Director Andrew Horbury, and Norm.
I'm here, Avis. I'll go get Liz.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And while Norm is doing that, I see Kate Olson also on the screen. Kate is a past district director, past district governor, both of them, from District 65. She was select distinguished district governor. And not only that, she is the one putting together the alignment for our new district. She's been working very, very hard on that, and you have her to thank for the wonderful work that's been done.
Hey, Avis, much love to Linda Lathrop, who's also a past district director as well.
Yes, absolutely. I don't know who said that, but
that was Stefano. No worries.
that was you, Stefano. Okay, I was trying to pick out people so that I could fill the next hour with. And then there's Linda Lathrop. Okay. Linda is past district. You are past district governor, past district director as well. And Linda is on the transition team, which is headed up by Jeff Sobel, one of our past international director and past district governor. Wow. Okay. Andrew and Norm, can you spotlight Andrew and Liz, please? And Liz, while he's doing that, let me tell you that your timer, Stephanie, is up in the left-hand corner. Stephanie, what are you going to be doing?
I will be timing you. So you will see the green at 4 minutes, the yellow at 5 minutes, and the red at 5 minutes and 55 seconds. When we hit 6 minutes, I will be hitting your mute button. So make sure that you wrap up real quick when you see red.
Norm, I see your mouth moving, but I hear nothing.
Sorry, did Liz Keeling make it back into the main room? I don't see her.
Yeah, she's here. On my screen, Norm. She's next to you. Liz, maybe you should put your virtual hand up so he can find you.
I can do that, sure. Give me 1 second. There.
Okay.
There we go.
And
Do you see Andrew? There he is.
Good to go, Avis?
I think you're good to go. Take it away.
Excellent. Liz, would you like to make an opening statement or would you like to move directly to questions?
I would like to make an opening statement. Fellow Toastmasters, friends, and guests, I'm very excited for the opportunity to be running for Program Quality Director as we're in such a pivotal moment for District 53 in its history, merging with District 65 and 45. I bring years of leadership as area director and division director to the trio. I was also Toastmaster of the Year in 2022-2023 for District 53. I look forward to working with Sharon and the Club Growth Director-elect on building the newly aligned District 53 through collaboration and connection. Let's move to questions.
The district has a significant number of clubs that have achieved very few or zero educational goals. What's your strategy for improving that?
Yeah, that's a great question, Andrew, and I see that on the dashboard today. I think to look at the clubs that have no education goals, we have to understand the needs of the members in the district. And there's a couple different approaches that you can take to understanding members' needs. We could do something like a district survey, perhaps, or run a 5 whys type session, utilizing some existing tools to really get to the bottom of why clubs don't have any education awards. Maybe it's as simple as they don't know how to submit the level completions in Basecamp. But I think there's a lot of different tools in our toolbox that we could use to address that problem.
District 53 has a good record of attracting club officers to attend club officer training. What would you do as Program Quality Director to improve that even further, to get 7 out of 7 trained twice?
Yes, we have a great track record with our training and getting officers trained in District 53. And I think one of the ways that I would approach that is to communicate early with regards to the club officer training so that awareness is built there, so we have as many people attend the sessions as possible. I think early and often communication is really key with having as many officers as possible attend the training. And then for the latter half of the year, I would say that I would work with the area directors for them to communicate that as well during their club visits for the TLEs in the second half of the club year. That way there's communication coming from different perspectives.
What would your priorities be for district-led training for the coming year, and why?
Yeah, my priorities for district-led training, I've given this a little bit of thought already. And in terms of training, one thought I have is the format. And I really feel passionate about having in-person training because there's so many more aspects of training than just sitting in a lecture hall and learning. There's the networking aspects of the training programs that I think are super important. And I'd love to see that happen if I'm elected as Program Quality Director. In terms of content and ongoing trainings, I think that's also very important, and something I'd like to institute this year is to have a monthly education session on a variety of topics, such as pathways, the DCP, leadership, mentoring. I can think of a lot of different ideas, but I think having ongoing sessions and having a flavor of hybrid and in-person trainings is what I would look to do if I'm elected.
Tell us how you plan to find a team to deliver top-class training to District 53 officers and members.
That's a great question, because that's always challenging, is when you first get started, there's all these different priorities, but wait, you have to build your teams to get started. And I think what I would do is reach out to some folks that I have personal connections within District 53. But the new challenge this year is because we're merging with District 65 and 45, I'm going to need to lean on some of the past leaders in those districts to help me identify people who could potentially serve on the different program quality directors. So I would lean on past district directors from all 3 districts, potentially help me find folks who can serve on various committees.
What do you think is the biggest challenge facing District 53 clubs right now, and how would you address it?
I think one of the biggest challenges right now for clubs is membership. If you look at the District 53 dashboard, there's many clubs that are down in membership, and there's different ways that clubs can work on building membership, such as doing events like open houses or more marketing and PR for clubs. But I think really to get to the bottom of that, they need to host and run a moment of truth for their club.
How would you aim to increase participation in District 53 speech contests?
That's a great question, because I definitely have seen in the past few years that we do have participation, but I'd love to see it grow. And I think that, again, similar to what I said about encouraging officers to attend training, I think it's going to come from a similar perspective, is communicating when those contests are early and have the area directors talk about that, do some special trainings on contests, and really build up awareness about the exciting aspect of participating and what you can learn from contests.
And how would you interact with other TRIO members to effect the achievement of the district mission?
Yeah, so the district mission is the main thing, and working with the TRIO is important because we steer the ship and we direct the district on all different matters. And I would work closely with them through key communication and collaboration, regular meetings, and if issues come up, working with the two of them on a solution. I'd like to move to a quick open.
Oops. When you see the red, it's over. Thank you so much, Liz. Thank you. And thank you, Andrew. We'll be seeing Andrew again in a couple of minutes. We're going to move on and I believe that our next candidate is here. Do you know where he is, Norm?
Yep, I'll go get him.
Okay, perfect.
It's
Awesome.
Joe G, right? You're looking for
That's
Joe
it. Yes, please.
Okay. Just to
Meanwhile,
let you know,
yeah.
Avis, William, who would be after Joe, William hasn't registered, so I don't think he's going to be able to get into the meeting.
Okay. Well, while Joseph is talking, I will send William an email, a text.
Thank you.
All right, no problem. I want
Okay.
to recognize Beth McIntyre, past district director, past district governor. I think you did both as well, right, Beth? Yes, from District 53. So good to have you here. Still supporting the district, which is amazing. Norm, Bill Spizocco has arrived. Bill, you're going to be going into a
Waiting room.
waiting room.
Yeah, Bill, we're pushing you to the waiting room. Please accept the invitation to move there, and we'll come get you when it's your turn to talk.
Thank you.
So, Joseph, if you're here, can you please put your virtual hand up so that Norm can find you? Maybe he's not here yet.
Yeah, I think Norm just went to go get him.
Okay. And Stefano, maybe you should put your hand up too, because just to make things easier. Joseph, could you please put your virtual hand up so that, yeah. Oh, well, that works too. Joseph Gwizdalowski is running for Program Quality Director. Joseph, let me introduce you to International President-elect Stefano McGee.
Club Growth Director. Club Growth Director.
What did I
was
say?
thinking the same, Betty Ann. Yeah, you said a program quality director.
Oh my gosh. Club Growth. Thank you, Betty Ann. Thank you.
I was
Please.
concerned.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I was
Betty
like,
Ann.
we didn't interview candidates. Oh my God.
Yeah. Betty Ann, can you please correct me if I do this again? Because I might not even hear myself. Stephanie is our timer. Stephanie, could you tell Joseph what you're going to be doing?
Absolutely. So you will have 4 to 6 minutes. So at 4 minutes, you're going to see green. At yellow, you're going to see, or sorry, at 5 minutes, you're going to see, hold on, I'm going to start over because I don't know what happened with that one. At 4 minutes, you will see the green card. At 5 minutes, you will see the yellow card. And at 5 minutes and 55 seconds, you will see red. 5 seconds later, at 6 minutes exactly, I will mute you. So just know that you're going to get cut off real quick after you see the red card.
Thank you.
All right. Guess we're good to go.
Good to
Guys,
go.
just relax. Chill. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. All right. So, Joseph, do you have an opening statement, or would you like to go straight to questions?
I'd like to give a brief opening statement.
Please do.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me for the chance to speak to you here this evening. I have been gifted with the opportunity to grow and evolve via the Toastmasters programs, and for this, I am very grateful. Over the past few years, I've been giving back to the organization by being of service to its clubs and its members, and now I want to step up my game. As a club growth director, working closely with teams, we will look at strengthening the existing base, focusing on reigniting the passion in its members to grow and achieve, helping existing clubs with membership building, be it workshops, open houses, club coaching, boots on the ground, whatever it takes. And finally, identifying areas of new club opportunities, such as counties without clubs, corporate invitations, young adult inroads, job fairs, chambers of commerce, on and on. This list is endless. We have an incredible base to work with. Together, let's make District 53 and TI even bigger and stronger. Now, on to the Q&As.
So the Club Growth Director's mandate is specifically about building new clubs and growing membership. How do you see your role as distinct from what division directors do, and where do those roles need to connect?
I see the district director more as a steward, the captain of the ship, in charge of a lot of pieces and also interacting more up the chain with regions. I see the club growth director being an integral part of working with the district director, but more having a downward look, but still paying attention to things, a lot of the same things, but having a more specific focus, especially with the club, with new club growth. I think some of the other overlap is, the general health and well-being of the existing clubs. They both play a part in making that happen.
District 53 chartered one new club this year. In your view, what does a healthy club building pipeline look like? And where in this district do you see more realistic opportunities to build it?
Well, that's interesting because I've already been thinking to myself, where are the opportunities? Is it in rural areas? How do we reach rural areas where there's very few clubs? And I've been starting to ask my questions. How would I motivate a rural area? And I'm saying maybe talking with people from a rural area and seeing just one-on-one and seeing what would be the motivation for them to get involved with something, and then blossoming that out. Where are there pocket areas where there's some major corporations, new corporations, where we could maybe tap into maybe a younger mindset for Toastmasters, getting involved with maybe HR organizations in these major organizations to say, here's what we have to offer to you, and maybe making us an integral part of onboarding new employees.
Membership growth isn't just about adding new members. It's about keeping the ones you have. April renewals are underway right now. What concrete support can a club growth director offer clubs during the renewal window to reduce member loss?
We're working with a couple of clubs right now, and they're struggling. And why they're struggling? Because some people aren't renewing. Why are they not renewing? And we're starting to go through this. And because they're so small, they got fewer people to try and move this big ship and get new members. And I'm not sure they can do it alone. So it's from a club growth director standpoint, how do we assist them? Maybe it's boots on the ground, maybe having a team, specialized team to go in. It's not just a club coach, but how do we help them get to job fairs or do open houses with the limited resources?
When a club's membership drops to a point where it can no longer sustain a meaningful meeting experience, what's your approach? Do you intervene? And if so, how? At what point do you accept that the club should be allowed to close?
I don't think we should ever give up the ship. I really think we should be reading the early warning signs. If we've let them get to that point in time, I think it's a failure on our part to recognize where we've missed the mark. The other thing that I think I'm seeing is we need to re-inspire people. What is Toastmasters all about? What is the why? And rekindle that fire. And if you do, it will spread.
I won't ask another question. Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you, Joseph. And that was good. Let's see. So, Norm, our next speaker, Pat, tripping over my words here, Patty has come back, so you probably want to put her in the... Norm, are you still here?
I'm here.
Okay, there you are. Can you put Patty in the waiting room?
Yes, I can.
Thank you. And while you're in the waiting room, can you please get Bill Biswoko? Bill will be interviewed by Stefano McGee.
Bill is not registered yet still. Well,
Oh, no, you put him in the waiting room, though. He was here.
Okay. All right, let me go get him.
Yeah.
I'm amazed at how real this process is. Let me go down the hall and fetch this guy and bring him over back to this. It's very real. It's not very virtual.
Right. We're practicing for when we're in person. Maybe next year. Stefano, I'm going to ask you to put your virtual hand back up because it's just going to make it easier for Norm, just in case. Thank you. Welcome back, Bill. Bill, could you put your virtual hand up, please? Because Norm needs to be able to find you. That will bring you up to the top. Or now you're spotlit. Bill Biswoko is running for Club Growth Director, and you will be interviewed tonight by International President-elect Stefano McGee. And your timer is in your upper left-hand corner. That's Stephanie, and Stephanie's going to tell you how she's going to do the timing.
Yes, so you will see the green at 4 minutes, the yellow at 5 minutes, and you will see the red at 5 minutes and 55 seconds. And then 5 seconds after that, I will be hitting the mute button. So just know that you need to wrap up very quickly after seeing red.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you very much. And now, President-elect McGee, take it away.
Sure. Hello, Bill.
Hello.
Do you have an opening statement, or would you like to go straight to the questions?
I'd like to give an opening statement.
Please do.
Hello, my name is Bill Spiswolko. I've been a Toastmaster since 2002, and I'm a DTM. I've served the district twice as area director and 2 more times stepping in when another director stepped away shortly before contests. I partake in all Toastmasters offers, officer roles, speeches, club contests, district roles, conference planning, and contest chair, excuse me. In contests from club to district, I've lost at every level, and I have won at every level. My favorite part of Toastmasters is watching someone who struggles to find their voice initially and then finds it. This is the strength of Toastmasters, because we don't put words in others' mouths. We instill confidence in their hearts. For we are unique. Toastmasters have an ability with a few words to bring a smile to a person's face. And if that person is downtrodden, then that impact could be far-reaching. And if each of us pledges to bring as many smiles to as many faces as possible, in the collective, we know we are successful. This is the hidden power of Toastmasters. A background. I started my career in Vermont. I lived there for 5 years, as a water supply hydrogeologist for the Vermont Department of Health. I've been to every corner of that stunningly beautiful state. My daughter graduated from Springfield College. I was born and raised in New Britain, Connecticut, and I'm a UConn grad. So I've been around, a Vermont Flatlander, a Connecticut Yankee, and raised my family in central New York. I was raised by 2 teachers in a modest home where dinner was often hot dogs or eggs and pancakes. And now I find myself at a point where many Toastmasters have helped lead me. Skills to lead, and I humbly ask for your vote for Club Growth Director. Questions?
Sure. The first question is, the Club Growth Director's mandate is specifically about building new clubs and growing membership. How do you see your role as distinct from what division directors do, and where do those roles need to connect?
Well, distinctly, it is to look for leads, either whether in corporate settings or places where there's groups of people who need to learn to improve their speaking leadership, which is everywhere, and also to help the clubs that are struggling, because it's a lot of effort to build and create a club. We need to hold on. So the director of the district needs to lean on me at different times, because sometimes you just need the trio to be able to help in the aggregate get something done. And it might be away from my role, but I'm pledged to help wherever I need to.
District 53 chartered one new club this year. In your view, what does a healthy club building pipeline look like? And where in this district do you see the most realistic opportunities to build it?
I would say the pipeline looks robust where we have long-term members. So we've sometimes tended to go after university settings, but I find the students are transient. Organizations where communication is key, maybe perhaps if we can get in with the HR people and say, how is the communication in your organization? So you got to go to the population centers, not saying that we're going to ignore the more regional places, but where there are businesses with more people, that's where you have the better chance of getting the 20 to charter and maybe 30, so you're robust.
Membership growth isn't just about adding new members, it's about keeping the ones you have. April renewals are underway right now. What concrete support can a club growth director offer clubs during a renewal period renewal window to reduce member loss?
I think it's the meetings which are, you have to be organized, agendas, and inside those meetings, greeting both the guests. We in my club say fellow Toastmasters and unpresent guest or most welcome guest. But we have to run well-organized meetings, and there needs to be, to the extent we can, humor. I think people want to laugh. That's why we love comedians in our lives. If we can get some laughter in our meetings, I know we've had a successful meeting, and I hear that from my members many times. So I would encourage them with that and different ideas, different types of meetings.
When a club's membership drops to a point where it can no longer sustain a meaningful meeting experience, what's your approach? Do you intervene? And if so, how? At what point do you accept that the club should be allowed to close?
Well, I've been in this position because I'm sitting in a living room where in 2020, in February, the club members met and they wanted to shut down the club. And I said, no, let's give it another try. And we were distinguished that year. So I think we can have meetings with as few as 3 or 4 Toastmasters, and they are energizing, and then we send out the meeting notes. So I think even when you get down to 3 or 4, you can still salvage it. But if the presidents and the officers give up, then it becomes difficult. But I think they just need to try some different things before they give up the ghost, and I would encourage that.
I'd ask another question, but we're out of time. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Bill. All right. Next on our list, you might think it would be the Division A director, but she is not able to be here unless something has changed. No, I don't think so. Okay. So then we're going to go to our Division B director, and that is Anna Primo.
I'll go get her.
Thank you. And Stephanie, since you're doing the highlighting, Andrew, of course, will be asking the questions next. I think I've run out of past district directors to recognize, but if there's anybody I missed, let me know. But let me know later. Hello. Hello, Anna.
Hello,
Welcome.
hello everyone. Good evening.
I'd like to introduce you to International Director Andrew Horbury. He's going to be asking you your questions tonight.
Excellent.
And your timer is Stephanie. And she's in your upper left-hand corner. Stephanie, please explain.
Yes. So you will see green at 4 minutes. You will see yellow at 5 minutes. You will see the red at 5 minutes and 55 seconds. And then 5 seconds later, at exactly 6 minutes, you will be muted. So finish up immediately when you see red.
Got it.
Thank you, Stephanie. Again, for Division B Director, Anna Primo. Andrew, take it away.
Thank you. Anna, would you like to make an opening statement, or would you like to move directly to questions?
I would like to make a short opening statement just to introduce myself. Good
Please go
evening,
ahead.
everyone. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Anna Primo. I have been a Toastmaster for 5 wonderful years. And I cannot tell you how many amazing role models I have had in my home club, as well as throughout the area, division and of course the district. It has been a pleasure, and I think I have reaped the benefits of being a Toastmaster, and I would like to share my experience with others. That's the reason I'm running for the division director.
Your role is to support clubs in your division to achieve excellence. Setting aside the title for a second, what does that actually look like week to week? What would you be doing with your time?
Communication is very important. Besides having regular scheduled meetings and check-ins, I also want to be always available. And of course, I have had a wonderful role model, Sharon Mercado, my current division director. Anytime any of us have a question, we just text her, call her. She's always available. That's exactly what my plan is to do. Be always available, always communicate, have a plan and schedule everything in advance so the team knows exactly what's happening and when it is happening, what is expected of them, and what support they can get from me.
The Distinguished Club Program is the primary framework for club excellence, but many club officers, especially those newly elected in July, don't fully understand it. How do you plan to change that in your division?
Toastmasters is the learning experience. None of the roles that I have personally taken, except being the area director for the second time in a row, have been prepared for. We have the manuals, we have everything. The reading we can prepare, but when you start the job, you have to learn as you go. And that is the best part of Toastmasters experience, because you are learning on the job. And the best thing that Toastmaster has is the support that we give each other. If the president of the club needs help, there is the rest of the officers to help him or her in their role. If somebody is away, we cover for each other. And of course, as a new club officers, we have the training, but we also help each other and teach each other as we go.
Every division has clubs that are small, struggling, or on the slide, or at risk. How do you decide how much time and energy to invest in a struggling club? And how do you make that decision without neglecting your healthier clubs?
Of course, with the help of the area directors, those clubs need to be identified. And outside of my area, I am familiar with some clubs, but there is, of course, learning to do in my position. So I plan to rely on my area directors for that assessment, as well as what they think needs to be done. Put our heads together and brainstorm, think together with the club. Of course, we can decide on their behalf what can be done, what are the possible solutions, and how we can help and support the club in their growth. Of course, not to be done at the expense of the other clubs. As a mother, I can tell you the time can be stretched, and I have done so many times, probably at the expense of my sleeping time. But yes, there is always time to help others.
You'll lead a team of area directors who are often brand new to leadership and still learning what club coaching looks like. How do you develop them, not just support them, but develop them so that they become effective on their own?
I think leading by example is the foremost and the best way to do that, as well as figure out if there is what are the challenges, and of course communicate, figure out what they're struggling with, and maybe what areas they need more training in outside of the training that they have received. So a personalized approach and support of the area directors, not just with materials, but with a warm word and an encouragement sometimes does a lot.
A club can be strong in membership, but still struggling to develop leaders from within. The same 2 or 3 people rotating through club officer roles year after year. What do you do when you see that pattern in a club?
Of course, it is recommended for the members to
Thank you, Anna. Thank you for taking the time to be here with us tonight. We appreciated hearing from you. And on we go. Our next speaker will be Division C Director candidate, Annette Wright. Is Annette here?
I will go get her.
Okay. Glenn, you will be moving into the waiting room. Can you put your hand up just so that Norm can find you and put you in the waiting room? Welcome, by the way. I should say hello before I tell you you're out. Wonderful. Norm, could you please put Glenn Gordon in the waiting room? I don't know where he's gone to. Hello, Annette. Welcome.
Putting Glenn in the waiting room. Glenn, you have to accept, and I'll be back there to get you in a few minutes when it's your turn.
So Annette is our candidate for Division C Director. Annette, International President-elect Stefano McGee will be asking you questions, and Stephanie is your timer. Stephanie, please let us know how the timing works.
You will see green at 4 minutes, yellow at 5 minutes, and you will see the red card at 5 minutes and 55 seconds. 5 seconds later, at 6 minutes, you will be muted. So just be prepared. Finish up as soon as you see red.
Okay, thank you.
It's perfection, Stephanie. See that? Just perfection. Just
Yeah.
smooth as fast, Stephanie. All right. Annette, would you like to start with an opening statement or go straight to questions?
I'll start with an opening statement. Thank you. I'm in my 14th year as a Toastmasters member, all in the Farmington, Connecticut Club, which is a community club. I'm in my 12th year as a club officer. And these past 2 years, I finally ventured outside of the club, and I've been serving as the area director for the past 2 years for C32. I've enjoyed my years in Toastmasters, both on a communication level and a leadership level. I've enjoyed working with the club members as area director, and the networking and just the connections I've made with club officers. I really have enjoyed that. And I also have appreciated the effort. Different clubs function differently, and they all are trying their best. And as area director, I was working with them, trying to help them identify improvements so that the clubs can grow a bit more, gain more members, improve on the meeting itself. And I've enjoyed that. And I took on the area director role again because I wanted, of course, to do a little better job this time around. And now I want to try out the division director role and continue my leadership growth, continue serving Toastmasters, and help out the clubs the best I can.
So Annette, your role is to support clubs in your division in achieving excellence. Set aside the title for a moment. What does it actually look like week to week? What will you be doing with your time?
Serving as area director the past 2 years, I also experienced my division directors, of course, and how they functioned in their roles a bit. And I think I learned some things from each of them. I think it's very important to have a set monthly meeting, which I definitely plan to do, so that we can take a look at the things that are coming up. You know, what's the first thing, the success plan. We want to get our AD visits in and help everyone with that structure so that we do complete all those tasks, get our clubs to complete all those tasks. And so I would try to work very closely with my area directors to make sure that they understand, of course, and what their role is, what is involved, and so they can keep their own clubs on task. I think that's important because right now, I know at least 2 of my areas have had area directors apply that do not have any experience. So I think it's going to be very important to me to make sure that they understand what is needed to be done and help them along the path.
The Distinguished Club Program is the primary framework for club excellence, but many club officers, especially those newly elected in July, don't fully understand it. How do you plan to change that in your division?
Yes, I know that is a very important thing. And it's not just being distinguished, it's the actual club experience. It's having engaged members that are giving speeches, participating, having enough members. And so I think helping everyone to understand the value of what a distinguished club represents, that it's the members' experience that is beneficial if we're distinguished, and that we can impart that to our clubs. So I would make sure that that is something I do discuss with my area directors. Yes.
Every division has clubs that are small, sliding, or at risk. How do you decide how much time and energy to invest in a struggling club? And how do you make that decision without neglecting your healthier clubs?
I have spent more time with the struggling clubs in my area. And that was basically because I know they needed some help. So I went to more club meetings. I've gone to some officer meetings for one of the clubs to try to help them to work on the problem areas. As we all know, you can go to as many meetings you like as an area director. There's no set number, so I can certainly encourage my area directors to do that.
You'll lead a team of area directors who are often brand new to leadership and still learning what club coaching looks like. How do you develop them, not just support them, so that they'll be effective on their own?
I'll be honest, I feel that I'm still growing too, but I certainly, of course, will do my best. Aside from just making sure
Thank you, Annette. Your time is up, but thank you so much for being here tonight. Next,
I'll go to Patty.
yep, thank you, Norm.
Yep.
Next, we'll have Division D Director candidate, Patty Walter, will be joining us in a moment. Thank you for the little messages. Keep getting little notes here. Thank you, Patty. Patty is running for Division D Director, and interviewing you tonight will be International Director Andrew Horbury. But before that, let me have Stephanie tell you what the timing is like.
Yes, you will see green at 4 minutes, yellow at 5 minutes, and red at 5 minutes and 55 seconds. After that, you will have 5 seconds to complete your sentence, and then I will cut you off and mute you right at 6 minutes. So be prepared.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Stephanie. Andrew, take it away.
Thank you. Patty, would you like to make an opening statement, or would you prefer to move directly to questions?
Move directly to questions, please.
Surely. Your role is to support clubs in your division in achieving excellence. Setting aside the title for a second, what does that actually look like week to week? What would you be doing with your time?
Well, first of all, I would be working closely with the area directors because they're the ones that are going to be in the forefront with the clubs. I would also begin with make sure that the clubs know who I am, what my role is, what my responsibility is, but I would mostly be working directly with the area directors to support them, to step in when they need me, to assist them how they need me, and to continually receive feedback from them, as well as monitor the clubs where it goes towards their DCP or any other concerns that they have, to work with the area directors to get them to become distinguished.
Thank you. You mentioned the Distinguished Club Program, and you know that's the primary framework that we have for club excellence. But lots of club officers, especially the ones elected in July, don't fully understand it. How would you plan to change that in your division?
I think it's important to educate. So the first thing I would do is ask the area directors when they have their executive meetings to let their executive teams understand what the DCP is, what it's all about, why we run it. I know that in the past, a lot of clubs say, oh, you only do it because you want to make the district look better. We need to get them to understand it's not what the district looks like, it's how the club can survive with it, and how with being DCP, how the club grows, how the club stays steady, how the club remains strong. And we need to bring the DCP down to the club level and explain it to them at that club level.
Every division has clubs that are small, sliding, or struggling, or at risk. How do you decide how much time and energy to invest in a struggling club? And how do you make that decision without neglecting your healthier clubs?
In the past, I've run into that. One of the things I did implement is sister clubs. So those clubs that were stronger and that were local to those that may be struggling, recommended maybe having joint meetings, having some just visiting each other's meetings, trying to see what clubs were doing, each club was doing, to see if that the weaker club could pull something from the stronger club, or vice versa, because it can go both ways. So to do that, as far as knowing what time it is, I think the main point is to see where the club is, to have conversations with the executive team for the club to see, are they struggling because of leadership? Are they struggling because they just need to know reasons why they need to, how to bring in new members, and what energy that they want to put forth, because they're the ones who really have to put the energy forth in order for us to get them to be a stronger club and support them after with that way.
You're head a team of area directors who are often brand new to leadership and they're still learning what club coaching looks like.
Mm-hmm.
How do you develop them, not just support them, but develop them so that they become effective on their own?
That's a really great question. So the first part is, as we all know, Toastmasters has a wide variety of education that we can use for our area directors as well as our division directors. So the main point was to see where each of the area directors are, where they are with each, running contests, where they are with club support, where they are with holding meetings, things like that. And get them to see where they are and then what they can improve on. We're not going to be able in 1 year to do everybody approve, but let's see where the majority needs improvement. And if there's 2 or 3 topics that they all say, like, just since they say club contest, we have no idea how to run our area contest, then make sure that we spend time in area contests. If they all say, no, we're good with area contests, but we need more support, probably with something like educating the DCP or doing a success plan, then that's where the energy goes. So it's all part of communicating. It's all part of listening to see what levels each of the area directors are, and then come up with a game plan for the the division.
A club can be strong in membership, but still struggling to develop leaders from within. The same 2 or 3 people cycling through the same roles year after year after year. What do you do when you see that pattern in a club?
One thing that I would recommend doing is have them start to mentor other members of the club earlier. So if I'm the president, who could I look for to possibly take over next year? And not necessarily somebody who's on the executive team right now, but maybe somebody that's been there a year and a half, still a little unsure of themselves. Have conversations, just like we have mentors in the club that mentor new members. We should also have our stronger members, our members that have been there longer, start mentoring new members to take up on those club positions.
What do you do when you see a club in your division that doesn't want help? The leadership's resistant, the meeting culture's closed off, and the club's quietly declining. You've got no authority to force change. Walk us through your approach.
I would have a conversation with them. I would make sure truly that is the case, that they want no help, nothing. And then I would say to them, well, you know that we're here to support you, try to get down to why they don't want the help. Is there something that happened that they don't want the help in the past? Is it because they're just set in their ways? And explain to them what the change is all about and how we're there to support.
Thank you, Patty. Oops. There we go. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Good night. You can hang around though if you want to. All right. Next. Norm has gone to get the next person. And
Well,
that
he
will.
hasn't yet, but he's on the way.
All right. Kathy is on the way.
Walking down the hall as we speak, getting some water from the bubbler
Yeah.
or water fountain, depending on where you guys are.
Kathy Kittle is running for Division E Director. Kathy, if you are in the room, please put your hand up so we can find you. Kathy. Kathy Kittle, There you are. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Kathy, welcome. International President-elect Stefano McGee is going to be asking you your questions tonight, but before he starts, Stephanie is going to explain the timing to you.
All right, so I am going to be showing the timing cards. Green at 4 minutes, yellow at 5 minutes, and red at 5 minutes and 55 seconds. And then 5 seconds later, I will be very harshly hitting the mute button no matter where you're at. So just be ready. 6 o'clock is where it's cut off. Now you look like you're on a mobile device. Can you see me? Or would you like me to spotlight myself so you can also see me? In addition to Stefano.
Yeah, I'm having a little trouble seeing Stephanie.
Oh boy.
We're having trouble hearing you, Kathy.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get in a better location. We're going through it right now.
Is it it's where you are right now?
Yeah, we're on a freeway. So if I can't be heard, I'll maybe
should we just bump her to the end of the queue?
That's what I was thinking of, is bringing the next person in now and giving you a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So Norm, can you do that, please? Bring Kathy back to the waiting room and have Glenn come out.
I don't see Kathy. Ah, yes, here we go. So I'll move Kathy back to the waiting room.
Yes, please.
Interesting. It doesn't look like I can move her there.
No.
But look, yeah, let me go get Glenn, and then I'll try to figure out Kathy.
Yeah,
And,
she might need to move herself if she was already like sent the invitation. I don't think you can send it again.
Okay. So Kathy, can you please move yourself? No, I don't think she can move herself because I've got it set up that we have to manually move her, Stephanie.
Since she already had the permission once, maybe.
Kathy, if you can try to do that, open up breakout rooms and see if it'll let you join the waiting room, please. In the meantime, I'm going to go get Glenn.
Great.
This is the one thing that doesn't happen when you're in person and walking up and down the hall.
Unless you trip.
Yeah, there's that.
So yeah, obviously I'm gonna jinx you here, but I have been amazed at how you have not confused Stephanie and Stefano all night long. Everybody else would have done that. I would have done that. But now I've jinxed you, so I want to see if you can.
Oh, that was a challenge. I see.
But you've done so well. I was like, wow, she is right on. She may be tripping over words, but she doesn't get us confused.
No.
Stephanie's talking about 6 p.m. But you're like right on with the name. So give yourself some credit, Avis.
All right, I'll just pat myself on the back here.
There you go.
Thank you.
All
right, awesome. Hello, Glenn. Glenn is running for Division F Director, which actually is the current Division A in District 65, but it will be the new Division F. So you will be interviewed by International President-elect Stefano McGee. And Stephanie is your timer. She's in your upper left-hand corner. She's going to explain to you what the timing is like, Glenn.
So you will see the green card at 4 minutes, the yellow card at 5 minutes, and then the red at 5 minutes and 55 seconds. When you see red, you will have 5 seconds to finish your thought, and then I will be hitting the mute button at exactly 6 minutes. So be prepared.
All right, Glenn, we'll get started. Do you have an opening statement or would you like to go straight to questions?
I have a little opening statement. It's not
Go for it.
Totally prepared, but we'll try it. I believe that the heart of Toastmasters is the club, and we've got to have strong clubs. How do we have strong clubs? We have it by more activities happening at the club level. I want to see, as division director, I'll be talking to my area directors before June 30th and saying, hey, it's time to start thinking about your fall contest. Let's start talking to the clubs and finding out where we can hold your contests and who your participants can be so that we're not running around like mad people at the time of the conference. I'll be following up with my area directors to make sure they all do their club visits and they all follow up with their clubs to make sure that the payments are made on time. The first time I was an area director, I didn't know the deadline for getting the area visit reports in, and I missed the deadline. And I really felt sad about that because I wanted to do the best job I could for my clubs and for the area. And as division director, which I was back then as well, I made sure that we didn't miss any of those deadlines. I also want to bring some trainings back to the division level. We, in the old days, pre-COVID, we had trainings done in person, led by division personnel. And I think that that's a great way for both our trainers to grow and for our members to grow and to make a stronger, more cohesive division because we'll know each other that much better. Thank you.
Your role is to support clubs in your division in achieving excellence. Set aside the title for a moment. What does that actually look like week to week? What will you be doing with your time?
I'm committed to visiting all the clubs and being available to all the clubs in my division. I will be following up with my area directors. Now, the role of area director is a very interesting role because if you read the description of the role, it is not a club coach. It is a club reporter. And I will be asking my area directors to do their reporting early and often. And then I will be looking for club coaches to support the clubs that need help. To me, club coach is the hardest role in all of Toastmasters, but also the most rewarding. I was a club coach some years ago, and we were successful. And it's perhaps my proudest achievement, more than being a DTM.
The Distinguished Club Program is the primary framework for club excellence, but many officers, especially those newly elected in July, don't fully understand it. How do you plan to change that in your division?
I will support my new members in all my clubs attending the district-based new member training. I hope that we continue to have that new member training because that's not always successfully done at the club level. My feeling, here's my piece of I lost the word. Now the club that I'm in has been President's Distinguished for 16 years in a row. And my own feeling is that being President's Distinguished was not a goal, it was a result. And by working with the clubs to make sure that they are meeting their silly goals, like attending training, I call them silly, the easy goals, like attending training, getting their officer list on time, getting their payments in on time, and recording their speeches, they will be the levels of distinguishment will come automatically. I don't want to work towards being President's Distinguished. I want to work to being the best darn clubs that we can be, and the distinguished levels will come naturally. That was the word I was looking for.
Each division has clubs that are small, sliding, or at risk. How do you decide how much time and energy to invest in a struggling club, and how do you make that decision without neglecting your healthier clubs?
My healthy clubs require very little support. I love my healthy clubs. In Western New York, we have a number of very healthy clubs. When I was a division director the last time, we had one club that had 5 members perpetually, and every June they would add 3 members for 1 month. They'd sign the month up for the month of June so that they wouldn't, so that they'd have 8 at the end of the year. And I thought that that club was not appropriate to support.
Thank you, Glenn. You're done. Thank you very much. I don't know if Kathy is back.
I'm going to go check Avis, and if her signal is better, I'll send her in. If her signal is not better, I'll send PM first.
That sounds great. So while we're
Thank you.
waiting,
I'll be back.
thank you. While we're waiting for that, I mentioned to you all earlier, that Linda Lathrop was part of the transition team from District 53, of course, to the new District 53. Linda Lathrop isn't the only person on this call who's part of the transition team. There is Jeff Sobel, who is the chair of that group. And there is Emmy Lawler, who is one of the members. I already mentioned Linda. And there is Norm Thibodeau, who is going back and forth down the hall to get our people. And he won't see you clapping, but you can tell him how much you appreciate. We appreciate all of your work. I know that you've been putting many, many hours into this. Thank you so much. Kathy, you're back.
Hi. Much better connection now. Yes, gotta love the rest stops in New York State. So
Okay. Well, here we have International Director Andrew to interview you. You already know the timing. Do you need us to go through the timing again?
no, that'll be fine.
All right.
Oh, can you see me though? Can you see my background with my hand raised, or should I spotlight my?
If you could, I can see you, Stephanie. Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
Great. Kathy, would you like to make an opening statement, or would you prefer to move directly to questions?
I think I'd like to move directly to questions, please.
Surely. Your role is to support clubs in your division in achieving excellence. So setting aside the title for a second, what does that actually look like week to week? What would you be doing with your time?
Well, currently I'm the Division E Director in New York State in District 53. And I find that much of my time is spent really working closely with the area directors, just making sure they feel supported, making sure that they understand what the latest initiatives are from the trio at our division or at our district level, and to really help them with any club issues that they may run into, whether it be a club that maybe is struggling and looking to secure a coach for their club, or maybe they need a little inspiration and pathways. I really believe that my job as a division director is to give as much support as possible to the area director for the first part. And then the second part is identifying what the trio needs from me. Delegation is really important, but I also need to accept responsibilities from the trio to make sure that I'm meeting their needs. So it's really a middle management role, which I love. It's something that I had my entire career based on as a middle manager of a New York State agency. And I really am so enthusiastic about trying to mentor new leaders within the district. So I am looking forward to a division director job continuing.
The Distinguished Club Program is the primary framework that we have for club excellence, but many club officers, especially those newly elected in July, don't fully understand it. How do you plan to change that in your division?
So the Club Success Program is something that we have always embraced in my home club. The DCP, we talk about it at every meeting. And it's more than just numbers. You know, I really use the DCP as an opportunity to show people that our club is strong. It's supposed to really gauge the strength of a particular club. And by couching it that way and using that as a description to make sure that the clubs understand it's not just the points, it's the fact that if you have a lot of level ones completed, that means you're supporting or your newer and less experienced members. And that's the foundation of your club. And building upon that in terms of achieving pathway distinctions and different levels, that just adds to the strength of your club. So I love to have the conversation really based around this shows the strength of your club. And one of the things that we do in my home club is we show our progress at every single club meeting. We don't wait until February or March to see where we are, because it's a goal and it's something that should get established at the club success plan level right in September, and just identifying who do we think we can challenge a little bit to achieve some of these levels that maybe our club hasn't achieved before. So I love the Distinguished Club program because it just, to me, is a goal, and it's something that we can strive for. It's something that we can obtain and really just make sure that we're continuing in a really strong path for our club.
Every division has clubs that are small, sliding, or at risk. How do you decide how much time and energy to invest in a struggling club? And how do you make that decision without neglecting your more successful clubs?
I think it comes down to passion. If a club is passionate about wanting to improve, I really want to give them that effort. And whether it's me giving them the effort directly or getting the area director to support them in a little bit different way, maybe it just needs a visit from, somebody at either an area director or a division director level. But if they have the passion and the desire to want to improve, I really want to support them. The successful clubs, I like to partner them with maybe a club that is struggling a little bit. And it's almost like a larger type of mentoring. And having a collaborative club meeting is an opportunity to bring together maybe more experienced or successful Toastmasters with a club that's more struggling, and show them that, look, we can achieve this. We can get better if we just put in maybe a little bit more effort, or we change direction just a little bit. So I don't want to neglect the clubs that are successful because we want them to continue being successful. But finding a way that they can give back to the clubs that are struggling a little bit would help both the successful club and a club that maybe is struggling a little bit.
You'll lead a team of area directors who are often brand new to leadership and still learning what club coaching looks like. How do you develop them? Not just support them, but they develop them so that they become effective on their own.
So hopefully my answer will come through, because I was getting a little bit of static. But I think that area directors do need that support. They need to be able to get the support from the district level as well as the division level, and be able to help a club that is struggling. I know that club coaches are an integral part of Toastmasters. We want to make sure that a club coach is a good match for a club that maybe is struggling. It really is something that will help to inspire the club coach itself to be able to give back and to mentor. With that, I had read, so I want to.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you so much. Wonderful to see you, even though you're in the car and on the road. That was really nice. And now you're probably wondering how many more contestants we have left. Have one more to speak with us.
Contestants?
Well, you know what I mean. Candidates. I was joking.
I will go get Pam.
Okay, thank you. Yep. We have one more. Thank you all for staying here, for being here, for doing this important thing. Hope that you talk to your clubs about what you've learned and the experience that you've had here tonight. And make sure that every one of your clubs, maybe you belong to more than one, and maybe you're only representing one of those clubs moving forward for the election, but make sure that those other clubs are also voting. Hello, Pam. Welcome. Welcome. Pam.
Hello, friend.
Pam is running for Division H Director. That is the new name of the current District 65 Division D Direct. Now I'm running out of words. It's getting late, right? Okay, so you recognize the person that's going to interview you. That is International President-elect Stefano McGee. And up in your left-hand corner, you see our timer, Stephanie, who's going to just run through that for you so that you have a moment to catch your breath.
Yes. So when we get to 4 minutes, you will see the green card. At 5 minutes, you'll see yellow. And then at 5 minutes and 55 seconds, you will see red. And you will have 5 seconds to finish your sentence. And then at 6, I will be hitting your mute button. So be prepared. Keep an eye on it.
Thanks, Stephanie. Thanks, Avis. So, Pam, would you like to go direct to questions, or do you have an opening statement?
We can go direct to questions.
Wow. All right. All right. So, Pam, your role is to support clubs in your division in achieving excellence. Set aside the title for a moment. What does that actually look like week to week? What will you be doing with your time?
Week to week. I have a plan. I do have a plan. And it's kind of interesting. Some people in this room know that I have actually been district director, and I leaped over division director and club growth to fill in the role at program quality. I missed this role. I was actually going to run for this role, but was tapped on the shoulder to fill a hole. And what I missed about this was the fact that this is the role that you learn delegation. You learn really how to lead. Not that you didn't have that as an area director, but this is the one, right? This is the one that keeps those area directors motivated and communicates to the district trio what's going on. And what I have learned from people who have worked with me on my team, that communication is the best way. And I'm excited actually to start making those connections and hopefully even finding who my team is going to be. On a weekly basis, just like I do with my club, I have a whole system of organization who's doing what this week for the meeting. And I'll just have to step that up a notch to stay in touch with my area directors.
The Distinguished Club Program is the primary framework for club excellence. But many club officers, especially those newly elected in July, don't fully understand it. How do you plan to change that in your division?
Pretty much the way I've been dealing with it in my club, just keeping people motivated to do the work, to get the speeches done, to get the work done for the division director. Obviously, it's going to keep those area directors motivated to do their visits and get their reports in. By the way, when I was an area director, my division director, who you may have already interviewed, was the division director of the year because he did that. He kept us motivated. He kept making sure that we were getting those things done, those visits done, the reports done. I was one of those people that visited my clubs a lot, but I was very lax in getting the report in. So I absolutely know how stressful that can be. But to keep people motivated to get those done and the visits and how can we help is all part of that. Letting them know that it's not just about getting those points in, it's something that they're getting done for themselves. And it's not about the district. It's really about your own gains in leadership. I know that, so I feel like that I can help communicate that better.
Every division has clubs that are small, sliding, or at risk. How do you decide how much time and energy to invest in a struggling club? And how do you make that decision without neglecting your healthier clubs?
That's a tough question. That's a tricky one. Oh boy. That's a good question. It's difficult, right? Because some people hold on to their club so tightly, especially if they were there when they started. I guess that's where the club coaches come into play. I know that personally I would not be able to do that myself, but find the resources available to help those clubs that are struggling. Um, Offer what I can, but for the most part, no, I can't. I feel like it's very hard for those ones that are just kind of hanging on for dear life to keep them motivated and going when it's been happening for years. I've seen it happen. And I don't think that I would put too much investment in that, but keep those other clubs definitely more motivated.
You'll lead a team of area directors who are often brand new to leadership and still learning what club coaching looks like. How do you develop them, not just support them, so that they can be more effective on their own?
Could you repeat that? I'm sorry. I think my head went
Not a
one way.
problem.
It's
You'll
late
lead
for
a
me.
team of area directors who are often brand new to leadership and still learning what club coaching looks like. How do you develop them, not just support them, so that they can become effective on their own?
Okay. I think maybe even going along with an area visit every now and then if they are having a difficult time, I would offer to support them in that manner. I do have the time that I could put into that. But to help them develop, honestly, again, that constant communication with them and having maybe even mini trainings once a month, to develop their own confidence and how they can do it and know it a little bit better. It's nice knowing that I did it too and what I have developed along the way.
A club can be strong in membership, but still struggling to develop leaders from within. The same 2 or 3 people rotating through officer roles year after year. What do you do when you see that pattern in a club?
I have a conversation with the people that I really feel will develop as a leader, how much it has developed me, letting them know about my own experience. I started off as a sergeant in arms at a club that was a charter club, and the next year I was club president because I loved my role so much, and that was it. I had fun with it, and I had fun also as the next role, which was club president. So
Thank you, Pam. Your time is up. But we appreciate you being here. In fact, we appreciate everyone that was here. And I want to just stress again, if you're not registered for the business meeting on the 17th of April, everybody, I believe every district council member received an invitation to that meeting. If you didn't get one, it possibly went to your spam, and you should reach out. You could reach out to me, but you could reach out to your other leaders that you reach out to Jeff. Yeah, just bombard Jeff. That'll be great. Yep, ask Jeff and he'll send you a link, because we all want to make sure that we all get those votes in. Thank you so much, all the candidates who waited around and came in and shared with us. Thank you so much for being here. And that's it. With that, we wrap up and wait until next week on the 17th to get together again. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Stefano. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, Stephanie. And thank you, Norm. Best of luck to everyone. Good words, Lisa. So true.
The District 53 Council Business Meeting covering alignment and elections will be held Friday, April 17, 2026 from 7 to 9 p.m. on Zoom. Alignment information and meeting registration can be found at d53tm.org/district-realignment. The deadline to register for the council meeting is Saturday, April 11, 2026. Make sure you register for the newly aligned District 53 council meeting.